川金一同在越南河内搭好的戏台，以为是全球瞩目、收视再创新高的续集，却没想到连谢幕都少了一位男主角。
Well, thank you very much. I want to begin by thanking the Prime Minister and President of Vietnam. We're in Hanoi. It's an incredible city. So I want to thank all of the people of Vietnam for having treated us so well. On North Korea, we just left Chairman Kim. We had a really, I think, a very productive time. We thought, and I thought, and Secretary Pompeo felt that it wasn't a good thing to be signing anything. I'm going to let Mike speak about it. But we literally just left. We spent pretty much all day with Kim Jong-un, who is, he's quite a guy and quite a character, and I think our relationship is very strong. But at this time, we had some options, and at this time we decided not to do any of the options, and we'll see where that goes. But it was a very interesting 2 days, and I think actually it was a very productive 2 days, but sometimes you have to walk, and this was just one of those times.
面对全球惊愕的结局，川普不想承认失败，更不愿一个人唱这出独角戏，于是刻意找来国务卿庞佩奥过场，随即开放现场数百记者问答。
Has this process been more difficult than you thought, and was the North Korean demand for lifting of some sanctions the real sticking point here, in that you did not want to do that and they did? And will
it was about the sanctions.
Will there be a third summit, Mr. President?
Basically, they wanted the sanctions lifted in their entirety, and we couldn't do that. They were willing to denuke a large portion of the areas that we wanted, but we couldn't give up all of the sanctions for that. So we continue to work, and we'll see, but we had to walk away from that particular suggestion. We had to walk away from that.
川普对谈判破局展现出十足的坦率，挑明了说，朝鲜虽然同意摧毁宁边核设施，但对于美方点出另一处他们从未公开承认存在的浓缩铀设施，却坚不退让。于是白宫方面片面决定，午餐会签字仪式通通取消，要解除制裁更是一丁点都办不到。
If he wants the sanctions completely off and you want more on denuclearization, how can you bridge that gap between now and the next time you might sit down together?
With time, it'll be bridged, I think, at a certain point. But there is a gap. We have to have sanctions, and he wants to denuke, but he wants to just do areas that are less important than the areas that we want. We know the country very well, believe it or not. We know every inch of that country, and we have to get what we have to get, because that's a big give.
川普臭着脸，没给金正恩留下一点余地。毕竟他可是毕生自豪于自己谈判艺术的商场老将，从未想过川金二会竟是这样收场。更让他意想不到的是，就在第二天峰会开始前的几个小时，他的前私人律师科恩向国会提交了爆炸性的证词，毫不客气地说，总统川普是骗子，可能涉及某些犯罪行为。
I tried to watch as much as I could. I wasn't able to watch too much because I've been a little bit busy. But I think having a fake hearing like that and having it in the middle of this very important summit is really a terrible thing. They could have made it 2 days later or next week, and it would have been even better. They would have had more time. But having it during this very important summit is sort of incredible. And he lied a lot, but it was very interesting because he didn't lie about one thing. He said no collusion with the Russian hoax. And I said, I wonder why he didn't just lie about that too, like he did about everything else.
整整35分钟，川普从印巴、以巴谈到委内瑞拉，还从国际政治、全球经济谈到美中贸易战。他说，朝鲜半岛问题处理必须谨小慎微，因为每步棋都不只牵动周边国家，也将成为世界局势的典范。
I want to take off the sanctions so badly because I want that country to grow. That country has got such potential, but they have to give up more. We could have done that deal. I could have 100% signed something today. We actually had papers ready to be signed, but it just wasn't appropriate. I want to do it right. I'd much rather do it right than do it fast. I can tell you Japan, South Korea, I think China, so many. And speaking of China, we're very well on our way to doing something special, but we'll see. I mean, I am always prepared to walk. I'm never afraid to walk from a deal. And I would do that with China too if it didn't work out.
用剑指中国，企图扭转颓势。川普提醒大家，就算这场川金二会被看成失败收场，大家也别忘了，1986年，美国总统雷根和苏联领导人戈巴契夫在雷克雅维克举行的峰会，同样是戏剧性破局，双方却在隔年火速签下了一项历史性的军备控制条约。
One of the things, importantly, that Chairman Kim promised me last night is, regardless, he's not going to do testing of rockets and nuclear. Not going to do testing. So, I trust him and I take him at his word. I hope that's true.
What was the atmosphere like when you walk away from the negotiation table? And
I think it was very good, very friendly. This wasn't a walk away like you get up and walk out. No, this was very friendly. We shook hands. We, there's a warmth that we have. Now, I hope that stays. I think it will. But we are, we're positioned to do something very special. This has been going on for many decades. This isn't me. This should have been solved during many presidential runs, and people talked about it. They never did anything. I get a kick out of so many people from past administrations telling me how to negotiate when they were there. In some cases, for 8 years, they did nothing. But I think the relationship was very warm, and when we walked away, it was a very friendly walk.
英国金融时报分析指，川普显然不服气，自己被认定和已故的总统雷根一样，没有充分准备就参加峰会，并过度注重自己与对手融洽的人际关系，缺乏精心的外交准备。他正努力证明自己不是输家，无论面对的是朝鲜半岛、美中贸易战，或者是国内的通俄案调查。